Do opposites attract? And more importantly, can the connection stand the test of time? Well, in this video, you're gonna find out. In former videos, I've given you the foundation of compatibility. I've also gone over each sign of the zodiac's connection with every other sign. And in those videos, when I state that dating your polar opposite sign can be challenging, many of you had questions regarding that topic. So in this video, I'm gonna go into depth about polar opposites and compatibility. Now you wanna focus most on your sun sign and moon signs here, giving some weight to the rising sign and even some to Venus, but this will apply most to sun sign and moon signs. Okay, now let's first establish which signs are polar opposites and why. So here are a list of each sign and its opposite. The opposite of Aries is Libra. The opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. The opposite of Gemini is Sagittarius. The opposite of Cancer is Capricorn. The opposite of Leo is Aquarius. And the opposite of Virgo is Pisces. Now let me explain why these are polar opposites. If you remember in my original compatibility video, I explained that at the most basic level, the 12 signs of the zodiac are broken down into two groups known as the signs duality. They're also known as masculine and feminine. The first side is made up of the signs that show strength through action. They are considered the signs that are direct and energetic, and these signs are the air and fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius being the fire signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius being the air signs. Now on the other side of the zodiac are the signs that show strength through inner reserve and are considered to be receptive and magnetic, and these signs are the earth and water signs. The earth signs being Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, and the water signs being Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Now in that first compatibility video, we established that generally speaking, when you're on the same side of the zodiac, compatibility is very strong because you speak a similar language. So air and fire are compatible, and earth and water are also compatible. An example would be Libra and Leo having strong compatibility being from the air and fire side, and Capricorn and Scorpio having strong compatibility being from the earth and water side. Now, if you are on the same side of the zodiac and you are the same element, that indicates extremely strong compatibility. An example would be Aries and Sagittarius, both fire, so they are extremely compatible, and Taurus and Virgo, both being earth, so they are extremely compatible as well. Now, there is a catch to this same side of the zodiac compatibility theory, and this catch is if the signs are polar opposites. Now, this is what makes them polar opposites. If you look at the zodiac wheel, each sign that is on the exact opposite side of the wheel, 180 degrees apart, will be the sign's polar opposite. And this is why when it comes to compatibility, the signs will have a challenging time. Within each element, each sign has a job that creates the balance of that element's energy. There is the job of the cardinal energy, I like to call them leader signs, the job of the fixed energy, I like to call them organizers, and the job of the mutable energy, which I like to call the networkers. Now the signs that have the job of the cardinal energy are Aries for the fire signs, Capricorn for the earth signs, Libra for the air signs, and Cancer for the water signs. Being cardinal energy means they are initiators, they are enterprising. That's why I call these signs leader signs. It doesn't mean that they are the only signs that can lead. It just means that they are most comfortable when they are the ones giving orders as opposed to taking orders. So if you have two people that prefer to lead, well, they are going to have a harder time working as a team, and a relationship absolutely works best when they are working as a team. And if they are both cardinal energy, they will butt heads more often. So any of these four signs are going to find it a bit challenging to date each other because they naturally gravitate towards a leadership role. And when you have two people trying to play the same position, that can cause an issue. But when it's the polar opposite, the exact opposite energy, that means not only do they do the same job, but they do it in the exact opposite way. For example, Aries, when initiating, has no problem doing it on their own. They couldn't care less if you think they are right or if you think they are wrong. If they want to do something, they are doing it with or without you. And Libra, the exact opposite sign, prefers to initiate as part of a team. They really don't want to go about it alone. They are the sign of partnership. So you can see where these two, if they're in a relationship, are going to have some conflict. Now with Cancer and Capricorn, they actually have a lot in common in terms of appreciating boundaries and valuing security, but both do prefer to be in a leadership role, and Cancer being the sign of home life and Capricorn being being the sign of public life, well, you can see where these two would butt heads. Now, the signs that have the job of the fixed energy are Leo for the fire signs, Taurus for the earth signs, Aquarius for the air signs, and Scorpio for the water signs. And them being fixed energy means that they are resistant to change, and they are perfecters and finishers as opposed to initiators. Now, I like to call them organizers, and this doesn't mean that they are extremely organized and neat in their personal lives. It just means that when they're in a group situation, they are great at organizing an idea and putting it into effective action. And remember, this doesn't mean that they can't be leaders or initiators. It just means that their natural go-to in terms of their strength is going to be when they're in the position of taking an idea and perfecting and organizing the best way to execute that idea. So all four signs in this category, if they try and date each other, are going to encounter challenges in terms of compatibility because they do the same job. But when you have two signs that do the same job and they do that job in the exact opposite way, well, they are definitely going to have a hard time finding common ground when there is conflict. Taurus is the sign of personal possessions and the material. Scorpio, Taurus's exact opposite sign, is the sign of shared possessions and the spiritual, so you can see where they might butt heads. Leo is the sign of personal pleasure and creativity, and Aquarius, Leo's exact opposite sign, is the sign of ideals on a larger scale. So you can see where they might butt heads, not to mention if all four signs are known for being stubborn, we're gonna have some issues there as well. And when it comes to the job of the mutable energy, for the fire signs, it's Sagittarius. For the earth signs, it is Virgo. For the air signs, it is Gemini. And for the water signs, it is Pisces. Now, these are the signs that are versatile and adaptable and can adjust to differing circumstances. And this doesn't mean that they are always easygoing. And this also doesn't mean that they love change. It just means that their strength is being able to adjust to different circumstances by being adaptable in comparison to the other signs in their element. For example, Virgos are known for being pretty stubborn too because they're an earth sign. However, if you're going to compare them to Capricorn and Taurus, then they're much more adaptable than those two. And this doesn't mean that the signs in this category can't initiate or that they aren't good at perfecting ideas and finishing them. It just means that their biggest strength and the job that they play when they're in a group and within their element is being the adaptable energy that can bridge the gap and connect two different energies. And that's why I like to call these signs the networkers. And this doesn't mean that they love to network. Actually, it just means when they do, they're really good at it. And like I said, this is the natural role that they play in their element. But when doing that job in your relationship, if you're doing the same job as the person that you're with and you do it in the exact opposite way, there are going to be some challenges that you come up against. Sagittarius is the sign of philosophy, of higher thinking and expression on an open scale, where Gemini, Sagittarius's opposite sign, is the sign of intellect and ideas, but of self-expression. So they're all about expression and they think up great ideas, but it's all relative to their individual world when it comes to Geminis. Virgo is the sign of self-improvement and factual details, where Pisces, Virgo's opposite sign, is the sign of dreams and belief in the unknown, not necessarily needing factual details for proof. They feel like if they can dream it, they can prove it by manifesting it, and then you have your proof, but they don't need the proof first to move forward. And all of these signs have their strengths, but when it comes to compatibility, you will be much more compatible with someone that is on the same side of the zodiac but does a different job than you. For example, Capricorn, an initiator, dating a Taurus, a perfecter and finisher, well, that works great. They complement each other and no one is stepping on the other's toes. Same thing with Leo, perfecter and finisher, and a Libra, an initiator. This connection works very well and each naturally allows the other to do what they do best. Now, this does not mean that polar opposites can't work. I personally know a few Taurus Scorpio relationships and a Sagittarius Gemini relationship that are working out great, but there are other parts of their chart that assist in bridging the gap that's caused by them being polar opposites. For example, I have worked for years with a married couple where she is a Sagittarius and he is a Gemini, but she is a Sagittarius with Gemini moon and he is a Gemini with Aquarius moon. So you can see here that her Gemini moon is going to not only be extremely compatible with his Aquarius moon, but her Gemini moon also serves as a point of understanding for his Gemini sun sign and significantly bridges the gap that can be formed by Gemini and Sagittarius being polar opposites. Another example would be, let's say three friends are working on a project together and they are Aries, Aquarius, and Sagittarius. Well, you have an Aries, an initiator, working with an Aquarius, a perfecter and finisher, and they are both working with a Sagittarius, the adaptable, versatile energy. So this is going to be a team that works extremely well together because although they all have very strong personalities, they aren't trying to do the exact same job. They are working their strengths and their strengths complement each other while they speak a very similar language because they are on the same side of the zodiac, the air and fire side. So yes, opposites may attract for sure, especially sexually because of the exciting differences. But to sustain and deepen the connection, it will take a bit more in the communication and compassion area, because being two energies that do the same job in the complete opposite way, this for sure is going to cause some problems, but of course, problems that can absolutely be overcome. This is why I make these videos, to assist in overcoming any issues that may cause disconnect. Remember, I am a firm believer that you can be with anyone if you are in love and both of you are committed to growing together, having great communication, and always doing your part to stay connected. You know what I always say, love. That's all and that's enough. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget the baby tap. If you're not sure what that is, check out one of my Magic of the Moon videos or my full moon videos. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with me. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.